Welcome back to the Strangers Worth Meeting podcast. I'm here today in Fort Worth, Texas, hanging out with J.O.E., local hip-hop artist. I found you on Instagram because you were doing putting up a lot of your work there, working with like Raw & Sons Brewery and stuff, and I'm really excited to have you on the show, so thanks for being here.
Hey, appreciate it. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. Well, it's a big day for the podcast for anybody who's been listening to the show up to this point. Today's the day I got the show up submitted to iTunes and everything, and so in the next couple of days, this show's going to be live, so I'm really excited, and I got some music going from my guy Josh out in Colorado, who put together the great blues track that you've been hearing on the episodes. So shout out to Josh. And also, if you want to check out his music, I'll share the link on this episode. But it feels fitting to do music today. Now I got another musician in the house. We're going to talk about music stuff. J.O.E., how would you describe yourself? How would you describe the stuff that you're doing here?
Man, just how I describe what I'm doing? Man, that's a good question. I never even sat and thought about it like that. It's just like I like hip hop, and I like to preserve the the culture of how it came up. The whole boom bap, sampling old records and doing all that stuff. And trying to preserve how the forefathers did that. You know what I'm saying? Like Mos Def, Talib Kweli, and stuff like that. But then so I rap about my life, what I really do. So of course, that's when things like beer and skateboarding and whatever I grew up doing or what I'm doing now, that's what I implicate and what I do, and I don't know, somehow I make it look cool.
Yeah. I got to see J.O.E.'s show the other night, just a couple nights ago out at Raw & Sons Brewery. They were doing a special, what was it, like a Veterans Day show, I think it was?
Yeah.
And
they're celebrating Veterans Day that week.
So the party didn't really start until this guy got up on stage and started going, and brought like so much energy into the room. And that was you and a DJ. Is it DJ Lazy? Is that what it is?
DJ Lazy Tapes.
Yeah. So you guys are kind of tight, and you've got like a clique. I feel like it's called Outcast something.
Outsiders Club.
Outsiders Club. Okay. Yeah.
Well, me and Lazy, I known Lazy since like elementary, like junior high. Grew. He's been around for a long time, and like he always told me he DJ'd and stuff, but I was still like working on my craft as an artist and stuff. So it wasn't until like after high school, and like I think like 4 or 5 years after high school, we started like linking up and actually started doing gigs together. And then next thing you know, we're just like, yo, we're just gonna stick together for a while, for a long while, and we like to call ourselves the Brewed Up Clique.
The Brewed Up Clique.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you perform at a bunch of the different breweries around here, and you were telling me there's somewhere else you're going tonight, but it's not to perform. You were just going to go have some craft beer.
Exactly.
Where was that? Which place was that?
Hot Fusion.
Hot Fusion.
Yeah.
Okay. So like it's quite a scene here in Fort Worth, which to me was a surprise, and I come from Colorado is where we took off for this whole RV life. And like in Colorado, you literally can't throw a rock and not hit a brewery. Like there's one on every corner. And I'm always really excited when I get to a town that seems to have a pretty solid craft beer scene. And I can say the Dadgum IPA, I think, is the one I had the other night at Raw & Sons, and that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, those West Coast hops, man.
Yeah, West Coast hops. So when did you start performing and rapping and stuff? When was that for you?
Was it like 2012? 2012. I started doing little gigs, just doing it just to get out, get some practice. I wasn't really worried about getting paid and stuff. Just getting out there, trying to build a stage presence. Try to, get comfortable with doing it. So I wasn't really too focused on the business side of it. I was just, trying to build myself more. And then it wasn't until like 2015, 2016, I started taking it more seriously and actually, booking, getting paid and stuff like that. I felt more confident and more like established as a brand.
So I feel like there's a blend when you're a musician where it's kind of like, do you spend a lot of your time performing, and do you spend a lot of your time recording and putting out new music, or is it about like being in space and performing live? So, and I feel like with you, from what we talked about so far, I feel like you fall more on the performing side. Like, is there a reason that you kind of just end up spending a lot more time performing over like recording new tracks or anything?
The demand.
Yeah. Okay.
The demand, like I don't have a manager, I don't have a booking agent or anything. Like it's just me and my crew, and like I just be working my 9 to 5, and people just be blowing my phone up like, hey, we got dates here. Like, are you available? And this is our budget and whatnot. So this year's been really good. Just the demand's been up there.
What's the dream? Where do you go? Do you want to just keep performing bigger and bigger venues as you go, putting out new music?
Of course, man. Really, my goal is just to be like, just do music. Like, if I can make more than a teacher doing music, then I'm cool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if it can pay for the lifestyle, especially, and just like if that can. So would the dream be for music to become that 9 to 5 and become the full main gig?
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a cool turning point. I mean, speaking as someone who I started my business and it was really just something I was doing kind of on the side as I was picking up other skills for my job, and like that's a really cool moment. I remember that there was like a number that I had to hit in order to be like, I can pay my rent here. Like I can do what we want. And for us, that was like to move out to Colorado and do that. My wife, Andrea, and I, who own the business together. And I feel like that moment is such a driving force that then what's funny is like after that point, you have to find other things to continue like kind of pushing you on.
Yeah.
And kind of keep you going. But I wondered, so craft beer, that's big for you. And I thought it was really unique, and I feel like it's so funny because when I've talked to you about it, you're just like, yeah, it's just like what I like.
Yeah, what I enjoy.
And I'm like sitting here looking for some like deeper meaning or like what's in craft beer. Do you feel like there is something stronger there, or do you really feel just like very casual about like this is just what you like to do with your friends? And
it's delicious. It's just something I just like. Like honestly, it doesn't even matter if I'm with my friends or not. I'll go by myself and go search for something new, or just go enjoy, just go enjoy a drink, man. It's just like, shout out to the homies that put me onto it, that it was out there, because like, believe me, I started.
What were you drinking before you started?
Man,
craft
straight
beer?
Piss water,
Yeah.
Keystone Ice, Bud Ice, man. Whatever I can get my hands on.
Man, Keystone Ice. That brings back some serious
Natty
college
Light.
memories, or maybe lack of college memories. That stuff is strong.
A lot of natural light.
Yeah, and so now you don't even touch the stuff. Now it's like your fridge is stocked, probably with all the local breweries around here.
Yeah, they keep me prepped up.
Yeah, is that a perk of the gig ever? Do you get to like take home a case or something?
Yeah, man. I mean, even before that, like, I know a lot of people in the industry and around town, so it's just like they always give me the lowdown and hook me up every now and then. So
which came first? Like, were you making music about craft beer first, or were you making music and then kind of craft beer came into that?
Yeah, exactly. I've been recording music since I was like 17.
Okay, so you probably weren't drinking a whole lot back then, at least.
No, but like but it wasn't until like 2014 I actually started rapping about craft beer. So,
do you see that as something that kind of sets you apart, makes your music unique?
Yeah, I mean, I've done a little research. There are other craft rappers out there, but like there aren't many.
That's a collab that needs to happen.
Either that,
craft rappers.
well, yeah, well, I collab with one.
Yeah,
and then there's another guy we want to. He's from the one guy I collab with. His name's CEE. He's in Canada.
Okay,
he's in Ontario, Canada, and we did this song called "Dope and Dank." Called Hazy Remix, and we got this dude named T.O. Hunter. He's from Cali. He runs this brand called Dope and Dank. He got on there, and then we did that, put it out. You can find it on Spotify, everything. It's called Hazy Remix. And then, but in the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia, there's this guy, and his name's Abraham Rock. He raps about beer and stuff. He's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you're part of this club of the craft beer rappers.
Yeah, this unknown club.
I mean, I feel like it makes sense. Like, the one thing that I consistently subscribe to is that like everybody has the drug that is like correct for them. Like, that's the one that makes them feel right and makes them feel good. Mm-hmm. And like for some people that's certainly alcohol, for some people it's weed or whatever it might be. Do you feel like for you, when you're having a drink and you've got a buzz on, like that's do you feel like you come alive? Like that's when you're feeling really good, or what is it about beer?
Yeah, I mean, really, it calms my nerves. It makes, relaxes me. Just I open up a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how I guess that's how everybody knows me now, and everybody likes to be around me and respects me and stuff. I don't know. I guess it just helps me perk up and brings out the real me. I guess.
I get that. I wish I could have brought. I thought about bringing some craft beers for us to enjoy while we did this, but we're in like a library, and I was like, I'm pretty sure we'll just be on display drinking craft beer. I could have brought it in some other cups or something. That's the move.
Exactly.
But I
thought about it too.
Did you? Man, one of us totally should have. Well, so your latest song that you just dropped that you collabed on was Fort Worth Anthem.
Yeah.
And who are the other artists on that track?
DJ Grace was the producer. He's the one who made the beat, and the other artist on there is J Diggs, the Prodigy.
Okay, so if you don't have this song, I highly recommend you go buy it right now because it was a really nice tune and very, for me traveling through Fort Worth, and I've gotten to go downtown now and check a few things out. I'm really liking my time here, which is cool because we just came from Tyler, Texas, and then we came over here for a shoot, and now I just get to hang out for a week in Fort Worth and just kind of enjoy it. But this song, I feel like it was just a really solid representation. Made me feel like Fort Worth.
It's a little short guide, if you're like new to town, you heard the song. If you pay attention, you can hear all these locations. You can go check out.
Yeah, absolutely. And because you were dropping a bunch of breweries in that song and all sorts of things, and like a taco place, I want to say.
Oh yeah,
if I remember right.
El Mil Tacos.
El Mil Tacos. So, but I really thought that was cool, and it was fun to hear too because Fort Worth, to me, if I'm gonna picture the Fort Worth Anthem, it's gonna be like country music or something.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you guys are part of kind of a new music scene in Fort Worth? Like,
it's definitely hip hop in Fort Worth. It's definitely sparking up. So watch out, country. I mean,
yeah, look out, we're coming for you.
Watch out, country, we coming. But it's always Cowtown, baby. It's always Cowtown.
Cowtown. So. And I got to go see the cows too, by the way. For the record of this podcast, Andrea and I did go out to the stockyards and got to watch them and do their whole thing, and she was delighted. And I thought it was pretty cool too to watch them drive down the street. Cowtown. So I kind of want to get into Fort Worth for you because I know that runs deep. I think I read an article where you're talking about like this is where you're going to be, like this is where you stay, this is what you're all about.
Yeah.
So born and raised Fort Worth.
I wasn't born here, but I've been here all my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the appeal of Fort Worth to you? What's this city all about?
It's just it's just love, man. It's just love, respect. Nothing too crazy. Like, especially if you're comparing it to Dallas, it's like total opposite from Dallas.
Yeah.
Total opposite. I don't know, it's just like
opposite in terms of kind of like how people interact here and like
that, traffic, just how big it is, how crazy it is.
Mm-hmm. Should we trash Dallas for a minute?
I mean, I got a shout out to my homies in Dallas.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? But they know what it is. They
Yeah.
A lot of them like to come to Fort Worth anyway, so so they know what it is.
Is your family out in Fort Worth too then?
Yes, just my mom and my sibling. Well, my mom. Well, we're all spread out now because we're all grown.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much my mom and my brother are here. I have a little sister. She lives in Waco. She works at Baylor. And then I have an older sister. She lives in Arlington, next door. And then I have another older sister. She lives in Shreveport, Louisiana.
So you're one of 4 kids. Is that right?
5.
1 of 5? Did I miss one? I heard brother, sister, sister, sister. Is there a second brother in the mix?
Oh, I was just including myself.
Oh, okay. Maybe I wasn't. It's been a long day, folks. Forgive me for my fast math. Okay, so where do you fall in the siblings? Are you middle child?
Yeah, I'm the middle child.
Middle child. Very, very middle.
2 older sisters, one little brother, 1 little sister.
1 little brother, 1
but
little
we're all grown. The youngest is like 28, 27, 28.
Okay, all right. So are you pretty tight with your family then? Do you end up seeing them a lot?
Yeah, we see each other every now and then. We're all on like a group message, so we we're always sending memes and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
So my folks live down in Florida. They moved down there a couple years ago, and then I took off across the country. And so it's kind of hard to get down to Florida. So I don't see them a whole lot. And I think they don't like that. And I'm sure they're listening to this episode too, because my dad's an avid listener of the show. And I think they're moving like up to Indiana is the plan right now. So hopefully they can be kind of more central, and like we can actually go see them instead of having to drive down that peninsula.
Yeah, my dad, he lives in Tupelo, Mississippi. So he was out here a couple months ago because my little brother, he had a kid, so he had to come visit his grandchild. So.
Is the whole family about Fort Worth, or is that unique to you?
I mean, I love it. I don't know I'm sure they want to move around and do everything. Like, I mean, of course I want to travel and do all that, but this is home.
Yeah. So I'm in Fort Worth now, and for any other listeners who are thinking about coming to Fort Worth, I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on the best Fort Worth spots. Like, where should someone go if they're here for a week like me?
I mean, this depends on your mood. If you like, if you're young, if you're like in your early 20s, you like, party and hype, go to hype spots, go to 7th Street. It's called 7th Street. It's just a strip of bars and restaurants. It's a little pricey, but it's all there. It's all the scene,
Yeah.
The fast. I call it the fast lane.
The fast lane of Fort Worth.
Fast lane. And if you want something more chill, go to Magnolia Street. It's another strip of bars, but it's a whole hipster vibe.
Okay, yeah.
It's more, and you can literally just park and walk up and down the street. There's restaurants, there's bars, there's usually events going on and stuff. So, and you got art spaces. I like to go check out the art spaces like Art Luck and Fort Worth Black House, and which is dope. You should definitely check out the Black House. Even if you don't get to go to it, just at least go look at it.
What is that?
It's a 2-story. It's a 2-story house painted straight black. Two of my friends own it, Noel and Sarah. Like, they usually throw art events or just parties or just whatever, like any kind of crazy events they can put together. But it's amazing. Everybody loves it. It's always packed out when they host things, and it's definitely a big part of Fort Worth now. And it's only been open like 3 years, something like that.
That's cool. So you love Fort Worth?
I love Fort Worth.
Yeah, that's all we got to say. Fort Worth. I like it too, man. It's a pretty cool town. I got to stay downtown for like a conference once and barely got to see a single thing when I was there. But now that we're here and kind of exploring, it's pretty cool. And I think for anybody, again, who's following along with the podcast, I think we're going to be heading out shortly. I think we're heading down to Fredericksburg, Texas, and kind of going to go check out like Hill Country. And I just feel like Texas is such a unique place. Like, it's so, well, for one thing, it's just so vast that like it's kind of, it tracks that there's going to be like really unique spots all across it. And I just feel like everything is so different. And you've got the Fort Worth crowd here, but then there's also a huge scene in Austin going on now, and like everybody's flocking there and moving there. And so I'm kind of excited to see that.
Southwest and all that stuff, it's nuts.
Yeah. So like when you're talking about doing different performances, and I'm betting mostly performing within Fort Worth. But are there other places that you like to go to or travel out to, or have dreams of traveling out to?
Of course. It's just, bring that bag, you know what I'm saying? If there's a budget, I'll be there.
Yeah. I feel like I read some article, because I try to do a little homework before I show up and try to know something about you.
Right.
And I feel like I read an article that like your dream was to perform at the beer festival in Colorado.
Yeah, Great American Beer Festival. Yeah.
Is that in Denver, or is that the one in Fort Collins?
I believe it's in Denver. I've never been, but I believe I want to say it's in Denver.
All right, someone chime in. It just
happened like a month or so ago, something like that.
I need some fact check on that one, which I'm sure I'll get. Probably my dad will fact check this and tell me, because I think I went to. It was one of the beer festivals out in Colorado, and it may have been the same thing. At the very least, like a lot of the same breweries were there for it, but it was up in Fort Collins, and that was a really cool scene out there. If there's one thing I miss about Colorado, it's all of the beer. It's all of the like different events. Like there was a lot of energy happening there, and I feel like it's cool because I feel like Fort Worth has kind of like a miniature version of that. Like it really, I get a sense at these craft breweries, and because you were talking about them, and now I've looked them up and checked them out. It just seems like there's a real scene that's starting to come up here in terms of craft beer. So that's got to be exciting for you.
Oh yeah, I remember it was just 3 breweries. Now there's like 8, 9, something like that.
So I feel so in Colorado, the big reason for all the breweries is obviously because they have the Rocky Mountain water, and like every brewery talks about how clean and pure the water is in Colorado, and that's what makes great beer. Is there like a reason in Fort Worth, or is it just like total demand of the population that like people want craft beer, people want breweries here?
It's just people that have been wanting it. It's just a lot of people. From my perspective, I just meet a lot of people that homebrew and stuff, and always think about owning a brewery and stuff. So I've actually seen a lot of people take off from the stage 1 to the brewery. So it's crazy. So I mean that's how I seen it. But like I mean I haven't seen anybody from like looking at it from a business standpoint. Like yo, this is popular. We should do this.
Right.
Like.
And so then you kind of, which is cool because then maybe you get like local Fort Worth people who are starting these breweries and they're like a part of the community already, and then start contributing in that way. And then because they listen to this podcast, they're obviously going to hire JOE to come perform.
Yeah, holla at your boy.
So I kind of had a question or a theory for you really, because I try to not just like lob a bunch of questions at you, but also like have at least one thing where I was like, I wonder if this is the case. I feel like after meeting you, you're a really positive person. Like I feel like most of your vibe is to relax, be positive, and help support other people, all that stuff. And I feel like one way that I noticed that is that comes through in the music. So you're not rapping a lot about like problems or like sad stuff, I feel like. And I feel like some people move in that direction. So you seem to me to rap about happy things and relaxing times and good times with friends. Do you feel like that's something that's core to you? Do you feel like you're the type of person who wants to give someone like a happier experience or like a good
positive
time?
Vibes, man. Positive vibes. Focus on the things that matter and not the things that don't. And if you come across things that don't matter, just shove them out your way and keep it moving. Usually when I listen to music, that's the kind of mood I want to be in. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's just the vibe I want to give people. You know.
Is that? Do you know where that comes from? Like, have you always kind of been that way? Just like the happy-go-lucky?
Just positive. Just try to stay positive, really. Just like, I feel I'm a pretty positive person. So, yeah, just like, I try to keep it not just in the music, but just all around. So.
Yeah, all right. Well, is that like, I always feel like that's got to come from somewhere. Maybe that's just because I'm projecting because I'm not always a totally positive person. And so I'm like, man, how do people do that? And actually my other podcast, which is the Socially Unstable podcast, which I do with a coworker of mine, she is kind of that same way where it's just like, no, I'm just a positive person. I always push her. I'm like, where's the dark side of you? Like, so I feel like it must stem from somewhere. Like, is it the middle child thing, trying to like be a peacemaker, be the happy person, take care of yourself, or like?
I mean, we did fight a lot growing up, but that was just
who doesn't?
We're just all kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I'm just chill. I'll just grow up and like, hey, it's just a lot of things just don't matter anymore. Just like, don't even worry about it. So I don't know. Because a lot of some of these questions you ask, I really don't think about it. I just do it.
Yeah, which is probably, that's probably something that helps.
And I guess because I surround myself with people that are just, chill and stuff like that. So it's just like, all right, cool.
You just want to be around happy people that want to have a good time, that aren't super complicated and bring a lot of drama.
Exactly.
In the mix.
If you act like that, I'm going to move around.
Yeah. And then do you feel like that's sort of reflected in Fort Worth? Like, is that a way that you connect with this town? That you feel positive? And
I know a lot of people. I met a lot of people. I see, I hang around a lot of people, and I guess that's what keeps them around me. And, every time they see me, they got to come say hi and hello and, stuff like that. And I don't know. I guess I guess I'm a respectable figure in this town.
Nice. Well, I felt that. It was very cool when so you invited me to the show out at Raw and Sons, and another one if I couldn't make that, but I was able to make it out. And it was really nice to kind of walk in the room, and I feel like when I go into a situation, I'm meeting someone new, it's actually like more rare that someone is just like welcoming. Like I came right up to you and you were like, yeah, man. And we chatted for a bit. And I thought that was really cool because I feel like most people kind of want to stick within their circles and not like, I don't know, just not look for new experience or like try to meet a new person, which like that's the whole point of this show. Do you feel like that when you travel around too? Like do you ever feel like the outsider for that? I mean, the reason I'm asking is because like the whole outsiders thing, like, do you feel like that's part of I don't know. Do you make up for that by being really welcoming to other people?
I guess. I mean, I'm just always around different people all the time. Like it can be a stranger, it can be someone I know. I'm just around different people all the time. So it's just like I don't know. I'm just chilling. Like I don't know. That's another thing with beer. Like I can meet a stranger at a brewery or something like that, and it's just like we already have one thing in common. We're drinking beer. So like if anything, you open up a conversation with that, and then go from there. Either that and just be like, yo, just start talking, and a lot of people open up, and they just, it's like, hey, I never met this guy. It's my first time here. He's welcomed me here, so
yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I get that, and I feel like, well, not only that, but beer is like that social lubricant too. Of like, if we're having beers together, it's not just that like we can agree on one thing, but it's also that like we both kind of can relax a little bit and feel a little more open. So the all of the gigging that you've been doing this year, which you're getting busier and busier, and I see your show schedule, and it's like you've got a lot of new things coming up all the time, which is really cool. So do you have like kind of a line in terms of the projects that you will take on? Like, have you kind of thought about or had other projects that come along that's like, that's not in my wheelhouse, or like that's promoting something I'm not into? Like, for you, where's that line where it's
I've had people try to, like, show-wise, I've had people try to ask me to do, like, political rallies and stuff like that. I don't touch politics at all. I'm not political. People try to have political conversations with me. I don't partake in any of that.
Yeah.
And then as far as, like, getting on songs and stuff like that, if I feel like, if I don't feel it, it's just like, if I hear like the first 45 seconds to a minute of it and I don't feel it, then it's not what it is, and I'm not gonna force myself to try to fit on that.
Yeah, it's more like an instinct then for you, where it's like either you're into what this sounds like or you're not, and you're just not gonna be about it.
Exactly, and I've turned down a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Do you feel like that's challenging to turn down projects where it's like there's more exposure, there's more money, or whatever, or do you just feel really solid about?
Nah, I don't really look at that. Like, hey, if I get on this track with this guy, it's like he's got all these followers and all these numbers. It's like, but the song sucks. I'm not gonna get on the song.
Yeah, I get that. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast. It says at least something that maybe we're doing something good here. So, otherwise, I would have gotten the big old no. Well, I guess sort of some of the other stuff I have so many things I was curious about, sort of in this conversation. But I was wondering, sort of outside of hip hop, outside of the 9 to 5, kind of to round you out as a person, and talk about like what other things are you kind of into?
Yeah, I'm a nerd, man. I like skateboarding. I watch a lot of skate videos and stuff like that. I like anime. I like sneakers and stuff like that, and I like creating stuff, like tie-dyeing and trying to learn how to sew a little bit, try to put some stuff together.
Nice.
I just try to like keep my time occupied doing stuff.
You keep pretty busy.
Yeah.
Is that important to you? Like, do you hate downtime?
I
do.
You
just want to be doing something?
I do, yeah. I don't like sitting still for too long. It's just I gotta be doing something.
That's good. I'm gonna make you be on a very long podcast then and make you sit here.
But yeah. What else do I like?
But the main passion, that's music. I get that.
Yeah.
Do do you get kind of like obsessive about your work? I was talking to another podcast guest, the first guest on the show, actually, Daniel Poe, about sort of how music can fit, or well, for him, photography, but how what you create kind of fits into the rest of your life, and like whether or not you spend enough time or too much time on the things that you create. Do you feel like the music always comes first for you, or do you have kind of like a better handle where you can be like, I'll pick other things to do with my time?
Pretty much music first.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like that's I'd say it's an obsession, because it's like if I'm not doing music, it's like what else can I be doing to help the music?
Yeah.
What, like how can I promote myself? How much more can I promote myself? Merchandise. What can I do with that? Like, always researching, do stuff like that. How to find more networks I can get my stuff on. Stuff like that. Just and if I can't think of another time, then that's when I go to other things, like just creating stuff, crafting things, and but like even when I go out and like hang out and just drink and have stuff, I'm kind of networking, because I meet a lot of new people, and lately I've been meeting people that like either own things or know people, on these platforms and stuff, and somehow it works out.
Do you feel like that gets kind of daunting? Because I mean, I feel like that's a tough thing about being an entrepreneur in general, is like there's literally an unlimited amount of things I can do that would be productive for the business or continue to work and work and work. And I feel like that's even tougher when your business is a creative one, because not only then is there the pressure to always be doing something productive with that, but there's also the pressure to always be creative, which I think is really exhausting. Do you feel like that ever kind of drags on you and feels like too much of a commitment?
Sometimes, but I enjoy it. I mean, if it ever gets overwhelming, I just take a step back for a little bit and just do something else. Start, listen to music or put something on or something, or watch a movie or something, and then like, oh, snaps.
Yeah, then an idea.
I try to keep it organic as possible.
Do you have like a creative space or like something that you do to help yourself start to feel creative?
Not really. It's I just live, just live, and things just come up, it just happen. It's like, hey, oh snap, idea. I could be doing whatever on the toilet, taking a shower, mid-stroking a woman. I'm like, oh, idea.
Yeah. Well, and I think I saw one of your music videos too that made me feel like craft beer was always on your brain for some reason, because it was like you were brushing your teeth, I feel like, with a craft beer or something like that. Which seemed kind of like, tell me you didn't use like real toothpaste for that scene.
I did.
Oh man.
Got to
destroy your palate for that. Yeah. It's worth a shot.
Wash my hair in beer, did all that.
Yeah. That's pretty fun. I don't think I could like pour a beer on myself. I feel like I'd feel really nasty afterward. But maybe that's easier for you. I feel like other people like to play with food more than I do. But maybe that's just me. So I feel like it's really cool every time I try to take you down an avenue of like, does this bother you? Does this start to get daunting? Whatever. I feel like you've just got a really relaxed sense on life. Like I don't know, you just feel really centered to me, like in a way that I'm totally jealous of, because I overthink everything. And do you know like where that comes from at all? Like I feel like it's like a Zen thing.
I think it's because just from watching other people, just watch them freak out about certain stuff, and then I just look at that and it's just like, you know what? And I try to think of it all the way 360 around. It's like, it's not that bad if you actually think about it. It really takes a lot to push me, and a lot of things really don't bother me because I just think about it all the way around. It's like, is this really worth getting upset over?
And like 90% of the time, the answer is no.
No.
Which I get too, except that then I still don't have the ability to like shut it down quite as easily. So that's pretty awesome. And skateboarding, that's a huge one for you too.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time doing that.
That's another way to like clear my mind. Like go skate and stuff. And, like I've been skating since I was 13. But like, yeah. And I do tricks and all that stuff, flip tricks, grinds and stuff. It's cool. It's
I
fun.
feel like that for me is like motorcycling, where it's like that's the thing where if I can get out on the bike, like my head is totally clear. I'm in good space for that. Do you listen to music while you skate?
Sometimes, but other than that, I just like to hear the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have been on a skateboard. I'm decent on a longboard. Like I can handle myself, but not too fast. But I never was able to master like any part of a skateboard. I feel like there's definitely like a skill when it comes to that. Is it like do you feel like you practice to get better and better, or do you
Oh
feel
yeah,
like
that's how it was. Just like I was just obsessed with that at the moment, and just like, hey, I gotta learn this. I gotta and then once I get it, I was like, all right, I gotta learn the next thing. And it's just like always, it's just it's just always something. And now I pretty much got it down, like all the how it works, like how to do certain. Even if I never done it before, I can see how it works, and I'm like, all right, give me a few tries and I'll do it.
I feel like I want to see skateboarding in one of your videos. Have you
Yeah,
thought
I've
about
been
putting
thinking about that too. I've been trying to implicate that. I just gotta find the right song, I guess.
Yeah.
Or create something or something.
So that kind of leads me to another area I'm curious about, which is music videos, because that's sort of like an entire other way to tell the story of what you're trying to do within the songs. Is that a challenge that you like? Do you like to kind of collaborate with someone who's going to come up with that story, or do you like to have the whole vision yourself? Or
lately, it's just feel like the filmer, like especially with the last video I put out, Chug Life, like the filmer, he had the whole idea, and I was just like, yo, and so like we were writing it down, like writing down scenes we can do and stuff, and then I put a little bit in there, but he had it down. Shout out Q the filmer. He's not just a filmer. He's like a director. Like he can put something together and make it a moment.
do you like to film a lot? So you probably mostly are filming in Fort Worth.
Yeah, mainly.
Are there good spots around here for that kind of thing?
Yeah, and there's slowly being more, because all the building and whatnot, and actually they're making a lot more cultural spots too, which is dope.
I think that this city is cool and also growing in a lot of ways. And like, I don't know, one thing that I was totally struck by was we were driving by the other night, and all of the buildings in Fort Worth, if you haven't seen it at night, are like outlined in lights, which I thought was really cool, because most cities you only get kind of the light from the windows of those skyscrapers, and here it was like every single building, it's like they've all agreed to do this. So I feel like there's a real aesthetic that's happening within Fort Worth.
And then the holidays are here, so they're about to put the Christmas tree in the town square. It's a huge Christmas tree, and it's gonna be full of lights and all that.
Are you a big holiday guy or no?
I kind of grew out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm around kids and stuff sometimes, so I try to perk up for them.
I mean, I'm the same way. I feel like I'm a total Scrooge when it comes to Christmas, but that's mostly just because I don't like really do a whole lot with it anymore. And now, like in the RV, it's also kind of difficult to travel to family during the holidays, so that I don't even have kind of like that element of it anymore. But my coworker is really, really into Christmas, and I'm trying to dig in and just see like what is the magic for some people.
Plus, my dad's birthday is on Christmas, so it's
oh, really?
It's just like, happy birthday, Dad.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of easy. You can lump the two together and just there's one gift for Dad. Well, so we've covered a lot of my questions that I had for you about kind of Fort Worth, the scene, your music. But I wondered if I've captured kind of your spirit, or what else you have going on. I wonder if there's anything else you kind of want to add in, part of your story.
Yeah, so me and my friends, this hat, Outsiders Club. So it's me and my friends, me and my boy Milky. It's pretty much a bunch of more childhood friends that got together. This is a new platform we're working on. It's actually gonna be like a platform. It's not just gonna be music and clothes and stuff. It's gonna be music, clothes, film, marketing, art, whatever we can get our hands on.
So it's kind of like a collective of you guys.
Yeah, that's exactly, because we were thinking about like, well, how are we gonna explain that? It was just a collective of creatives.
Okay.
So, um, but yeah, but definitely we got got a website, Outsiders Club, Outsiders with a Z, Club with a K, and yeah, you can see a little bit what we've been working on. We definitely got merch and stuff up there, and you can see like all our video work and stuff. We have like a Texas division and we have a Connecticut division.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
What's that? What's the Connecticut connection?
Pretty much one of the guys, I call him Milky Beats. His cousin, who's an artist and who's a rapper, filmer, editor, graphic designer, all that stuff. Shout out Swafsky. He lives in New London, Connecticut, so like he does a lot of film work and stuff like that, and then and at the same time, Connecticut's like a train ride from New York, so
yeah,
he can pretty much hold it down over there while we hold it down here, and hopefully we'll work our way up there, because like out there is just it's a lot more. The music scene is a lot. The music scene, just the creative, the cultural scene, the culture scene in general is just way more bigger, and they're doing a lot more stuff up there, and so that's mainly when it's taking off up there, and then we're trying to get it started jumping down here to where and then hopefully expand from there.
So you guys, when you come together, you'll be producing like videos, music, content for like...
It can be for anybody. A musical artist. It can be a company that's holding an event and they want us to film it and create a recap or something like that. Commercials. It can be whatever.
So where was the inspiration for that came from?
Just creating something different, but at the same time, trying to be innovative. You know what I'm saying? Just like, cause like you can, if you look at it from me looking at it from an artist standpoint, like a lot of artists, they just do music. They don't do anything else. They don't, while we're trying to touch all those bases and not just, work on one thing, but bring people together who have different skills and stuff. Not just, and hopefully have multiple skills that we can all, expand and create. Not just create, but just like, just trying to touch a lot of bases. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But actually, at the same time, trying to make actual business. You know what I'm saying? And like, so this is something that we actually think of, like, 5-10 years down the line, maybe hopefully we can actually expand this into an actual business where we can actually, all eat off of this.
Yeah, I feel like that's a really cool model that's kind of coming up, this collective thing in terms of artists, because it's like, I've got skills over here, he's got skills over here, but if we came together, we could really do something big for someone. The first guest on the show, again, Daniel Poe, I keep dropping him. He's got a photography collective that's a really similar thing where they handle like video production and photo production, and I want to say that's maybe like the first time I'd really talk with someone about how that works, and I just thought that was a really cool model. Like I feel like I get a similar thing from the agency that I own, Marketing T, because I've got different people spread out all across the country who are just very good at the thing that they do. And so when I can put them on a project for a client or something, it's like I can pull this person's writing skills, this person's web design skills, this, my video skills, Andrea's photography skills, and bring all those together and kind of create something really interesting. But I feel like that's been really cool that like technology has kind of allowed us to do just so much more of that and make it so easy, make it so accessible for everybody to do that. So Outsiders Club, check them out if you're looking for some content. These guys, sounds like they're doing some cool stuff. I'll have to check it out too. Anything else you want to throw on the tail end of the podcast here? Not
off the top of my head. I know if I had like some upcoming shows that are like weeks down.
Yeah,
well,
I wish I knew when
yeah.
this isn't gonna come out for like 3 weeks probably, because I just finally got the first one out.
It probably already happened.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, people can check you out and check out your music. What are your handles and stuff so people can find it?
Joe0Sosick, JOE0SOSICK. You can type that out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and it'll bring up my page, and then it'll have like the link. It'll have like a campsite link on there that has all the music links and videos and stuff like that. So I try to just point people to social media, or you can go to outsidersclub.com. I have an artist profile on there.
Nice. So check him out, JOE, here in Fort Worth. Thanks for being on the show, man. Appreciate you, and thanks for having me come out to your performance. It was very cool to see. Make sure you check out his music and all the things these guys are up to, and also make sure you check out Fort Worth, because it's a pretty happening place. So thanks for listening to this episode of Strangers Worth Meeting, and we will see you on the next show.
Yeah.